So for $98, you could get on to Steel Vengeance if you want to pay 98 American dollars. But unfortunately, one of the other major roller coasters that I'm here for today is not even open. So I'm going to find out what the situation is, because 100 American dollars for one roller coaster is kind of ridiculous. Also, you only get one free visit apparently in 2019 to Cedar Point as part of this situation. So I am only here for today, and I might not even get on Steel Vengeance because of that. So far, not so good. Drinking now, gotta calm down a bit, because hopefully this will help, because I'm in a mood obviously, so whatever. Welcome to Cedar Point. So we're in line. It's gonna be $98 to get on this ride, but hopefully I'll get enough rides out of it to make it worthwhile. But you know what, whatever, I don't care. I've come a long way. Okay, I will say that one of the benefits of buying the Fast Pass is that I'm still waiting to get into Valraven behind us here, but at the same time, like, I've got time because I can just go on it whenever it decides to open up, because they're just sitting there idling right now. So I'm gonna go on the blue streak, and I'm gonna do that, and then hopefully by the time I get off of it, we'll be good to go. Love this ride. It's really actually, I undermine it too much. I don't think about it, but it's probably one of the better roller coasters in the wood fashion I've been on. Until Mean Street closed, this was the best wooden coaster in this park, because Mean Street, when it opened, was fantastic. I rode it back then, but the last time I rode Mean Street just before it closed, it was intolerable. So I'm kind of looking forward to what's happened, but at the same time, best wooden coaster at Cedar Point. Not gonna lie, just being able to roll by every lineup in this place today is kind of worth it. I didn't really explain it at the gate, but the fast lane costs $78 with a season's pass, so there is some benefit to what's going on here. So obviously I'll update that a lot over the day. Love me some Blue Streak. Just finish it off. Gotta have to say, you know, I'm gonna do the circuit today. I'm gonna do front to back around the park. I actually already cheated it because I passed Raptor, but I'm gonna go back to Raptor, and then I'm gonna go down and do the entire circuit as well as I can. I've never done this before. Maybe I'll reverse it. Why am I thinking on video? I do not know. So yeah, it is 4 p.m., which means I have 6 hours in this park. Oh, beautiful Raptor behind me. I love that ride. It's the first ride I ever went on when I came to Cedar Point, and I don't really want to say the year. I'm gonna say 1996, but it was probably 1994 was the first year that I came here. Ugh, that's saying a lot. Okay, don't want to date ourselves. But yes, on to Raptor. Ride Raptor, the original inverted coaster, B&M's masterpiece. Will it live up to expectation now that I've been on Banshee and Afterburn, which were both fantastic? We're gonna find out. It's been a long time. Probably the most foolish part about this situation is the fact that this station is empty and I paid the money that I paid. But we're gonna find out when I get to Steel Vengeance when it was worth it or not. As I said, it was on a 2-hour wait, so I'm pretty sure we should be good. But yeah, like other coasters that are 20 years older and such that are still excellent, like this one, are basically empty on a Sunday. Okay, I got to rant. I got a lot to say right now. So I just got off of Raptor. Probably the third time ever that I've been on the front row in over 20 years, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't understand with the Diamondback experience from yesterday and what the situation is, but I feel that, like, I like French films, I like foreign films, I like films that are like hard to understand and a little bit difficult, take a little bit of time in order to process. And I feel that that's the same for coasters like this. This coaster is over 20 years old. It is it is a landmark coaster. It started the trend of big B&Ms. And when I first rode it, it was an unbelievable experience. It has not changed. It's the exact same thing. You gotta recognize the amazingness of this ride. This ride right here is what started it all for me. This is an amazing ride, and it does not get the respect that it deserves. It's not as good as Banshee, I'll say that much. Like, Banshee was better, just marginally. But this ride, over 20 years old, steel, inverted, still running like a peach. Exit through the gift shop of Valraven. Alright, Valraven is done. I'm probably going to come back to this later on. It's a pretty decent coaster. It's not sheetrock, I will say that much. Great first drop. A little rickety, a little rough for a new B&M, I gotta say though. Like, it was a great experience. That final slow version was unreal as well. But overall, great experience, great addition to the park. Really looking forward to what Wonderland has to offer as far as Yukon Striker is concerned next year. Challenge spoiled. Line up for Iron Dragon, no fast pass. We'll be back. Still gonna complete the circuit, but sadly gonna have to do this one out of order. So I've also been on Disaster Transport, which used to exist here, which was actually a pretty decent ride, theming wise, even though half the stuff didn't work at the time that I wrote it, at least as far as practical effects and stuff was concerned. But that being said, it was a pretty solid attraction. I'm kind of sad that it left. But that being said, some of the other attractions here at Cedar Point that you sometimes contemplate getting rid of don't always go away. So here we are at Rougarou. Rougarou used to be a stand-up coaster, and it was murder back then. I actually rode this ride when it first came out as Mantis back in the day, really early on in its history, and it was a great ride back then. But then when I came back maybe a year and a half later, 2 years ago, or 2 years later, it was terrible. So I'm interested to see how the floorless trains work on this ride, because the layout I do like a lot. I do like those fast side-to-side sort of turns that they do, which you get on Superman the Escape. So we'll see how this goes. As I said, this was originally a stand-up coaster, and I really think that this track was designed for a stand-up coaster. Kind of underwhelming as a floorless, but overall I have to say that outside of the floorless at Magic Mountain, I don't really rate floorless coasters that much. They're kind of like B&M Light, and the elements on this one, while they're still great, or they were great as a stand-up model, just not ringing with me in this particular floorless setup, to be honest. For example, the sideways loop. Not really sure what that's adding to any other coaster when you ride it in a normal seated position. The quick switch turns as well, the flip-flap turns, I'm probably going to come up with a better name for that, and I'm sure there is a better name for that, and I'm kind of embarrassed I don't know it right now. But that was way more effective as a standing coaster, not as a floorless. And also, just a slight aside, having ridden Vortex and Carowinds, didn't really cover that earlier, that there is no reason for there to be a corkscrew on a stand-up coaster. I know this thing is not stand-up anymore, but it's just pure pain. No need for it. Don't know what they were thinking when they even came up with that idea originally, but here we go. So that's Rougarou done. Plenty of opportunities for re-rides here today, but I'm gonna save that till later. About to go on Millennium Force. I've been on Fury now, and I've also been on, well, obviously I've covered it in the last couple days, Diamondback, many other hypercoaster designs. You can probably start this one again. So we're going on Millennium Force for the first time today. This is formerly, or still currently, my favorite coaster in the world. But it's got a bit of a challenge. I've been on Superman now, and I honestly thought it was probably better than this design, and I'm gonna have to see whether or not my opinion on that has changed. And obviously I've been on Fury as well, not the same type of coaster, but let's see how it stands up after having been on those coasters now this year. There's another cash scam when it comes to these parks. Like, I have this jobby thing, it's a real small little item, and I'm now gonna have to put it in a locker because apparently I can't take it on this ride. Even though this ride is no different than many rides that I've been on, where they put holes in the spots. But because it's a high capacity attraction that gets a lot of hype, they always put these lockers out so that way you have to use them, which is kind of like, for those of us that know, it is a bit of a scam, to be honest with you, because there's no reason for it. Most people don't need a locker to just put their freaking jobby out. Like, kind of disappointed by that. I get it. It's an opportunity to make more money, just like the fast pass situation is. But like at the end of the day, there's no fooling. It is a cash grab, and that's just the way it is. I hope that my jobby is here because I'm going to throw it into the trees and just see whether or not it's here when I get back. There's a lot of kids watching me, so it's probably not going to be here, but we'll see. Millennium Force done for the first time this year, and also got in the back, which is great because it's not been many times that I've been in the back. But the bad news is that, yes, it is not the same experience now. It is not Fury 325. It is not Superman the Escape. But I don't know, like, I think that perspective is a weird thing, but it's just, this is a ride that was a big deal to me 15 years ago, but I guess I've evolved. I just don't get the hype. Like, I love the ride, and I can't even believe that I just said that, but at the same time, like, it's just not the same. It's just not got the elements that Superman has and Fury has. So it's just not in the same league. I'm gonna, like, it is, much like I said with the Raptor blurb earlier, it is a hallmark coaster. It deserves the respect that it gets, but it is not the ride experience that some other things that are out there are giving right now. So I'm not saying tear it down, but at the same time, is it the best coaster in the park? I don't think it is anymore. But we'll find out because we're on our way to the two big hitters, Maverick and, of course, Steel Vengeance. All right, so I just left the slaughterhouse, and I have to say that that was one of the best themed scare mazes I think I've ever done. That was amazing. The Kings Island one was also really impressive, and obviously the same sort of concept. This one, at least, like the bubble wall that you have to crawl through that turns completely black and it has the bubbles on both sides, like fully immersive and inflated and like really intense. Over a dozen actors in there as well, which the Kings Island version didn't have. Kilmar at Kings Island was also really excellent for theming, but this one as well, amazing. I think that overall the props in the Kings Island version were a little bit better, but yeah, solid ride. Definitely gonna do this one again. I've also done some obligatory research and found out that there are 6 scare mazes here, so I'm gonna focus on getting all those in. It's pretty much a walk-in for that slaughterhouse, so I'm hoping that it's the same for the rest today. All right, so Maverick is our next ride. It is very highly rated, and I've been on it only 3 times. And the last time I was here, I was dying of heat, so this will be a much better experience. Okay, so we're moving on to Steel Vengeance, because there's one thing about the fast lane, whatever the hell it is, that thing. Okay, so what they do is that they basically shave like 40 minutes off of your wait, but you still have to wait another half an hour to get onto Maverick. So I've paid $100 to get on these rides, but I still have to wait that long. So not really worth it when it comes down to how it's set up. Most of the other parks, you basically go right to the back entrance or to the exit and you go straight onto the ride. Cedar Point, not having it. No, you're gonna be waiting. Happening at Millennium Force, it's happening at Maverick. Talked to some people that have already been on Steel Vengeance, and they said it was like a 15-minute wait for the fast lane plus, so I'm hoping that has been retained, but at the same time, a little disappointed. Price point is extremely high for these fast passes that you're still waiting on a day like today where most of the rides are walk-ons. 20 to 30 minutes just to get on Maverick. It's almost a 10-year-old ride. It doesn't really make sense to me. Anyway, we have arrived. Steel Vengeance. So yes, once again, here we are, 45-minute wait to get in with a fast lane pass, but that doesn't seem to be very great value considering that this park is not that busy right now, and I'm not really sure what you get value-wise for that. I'm gonna probably try this again later or see if it goes down. So last night, the only way to get those re-rides in on Kings Island was to wait out the crowds to the very end of the night. I did that crazy thing where I waited until basically before the park closed to get on the Banshee. So I'm gonna do the same here. I've got 4.5 hours in the park. And to be perfectly honest, outside of Top Thrill Dragster, I don't really have any major coasters to... There is Gatekeeper, but Gatekeeper is not going to be a big wait. It's 10 minutes apparently. So with the Fast Pass, it is what it is. I'll get on a bunch of times. So getting on Maverick and Steel Vengeance are going to be the challenge today. But I feel that if I wait, I'm definitely going to get that Steel Vengeance night ride in no matter what. And another day ride. I'm going to aim for 4 rides on it today. I'm gonna also aim for 4 rides on Maverick, which I haven't gotten. So we'll see if I can get that. If I do get that, I think that I'll get a good value out of this fast lane situation. If I don't, well, Cedar Creek Mine Ride is next. Gotta say, I love myself a little, family train, mine train coaster like this classic Arrow is. It's old, but it's still smooth. Adventure Express I didn't cover last night. Awesome ride at night. Really underrated, really worth the trip just to try out stuff that again, I'm talking about like coasters that you can get kids on that sort of like open the nut for them when it comes down to getting into these types of rides. But yeah, this is another good solid one, pretty smooth, pretty tame, but I do always enjoy it.
You gotta stop and move.
When I was a young one, I used to make coasters like this in my poor mother's living room, so I'm really impressed with this model. The detail and just the pure size of it. I don't even think that I would have ever had a living room this size. So we're in the lineup for Maverick now. I decided, one thing I do when I'm at these parks is I always presume that the flow of the crowd is following me, and then I try to backtrack in the opposite direction just to see how things go, and sure enough, time has been shaved off on the wait for 15 minutes, so it's now a 15-minute wait. So we're going right on. There's an amazing haze, or like a fog that's rolled into this place. Maverick just closed. I was on one of the last trains before it's closed for technical issues, so luck of the draw there. We're off to Steel Vengeance again, which I think most people are headed over to, so we'll see how this is going to work. But a ride through the mist would be amazing for my first ride on this ride. Yes, it is down to 15 minutes. This is it. We're going on, we're going on, we're going on. And we're going to have a misty ride on Steel Vengeance. This should be incredible. This ride may be pretty unique because the timing of my time, I'm here right when the lights have been turned on in the structure, but this is still not dark yet. So we're going to get like a half day, half night ride. You should see the mist. And that is it. We've done it finally. Steel Vengeance. I do have to say, and I didn't really know what to expect, but it is unbelievable. Still not quite Fury 325 for me. I would say it's second to that, but I don't know. We'll see what happens in the dark, but this was one crazy investment for Cedar Point, and thank God they did it because it is the craziest coaster that I have been on that has a wood structure. Hey guys. So one little anecdote about coming to Cedar Point on your own, just be used to people getting up in your face. If you're friendly, it's all good. Like, there's plenty of great times to have here. If you're a little self-conscious about stuff, you may want to either come on a slower day or, just engage with people. It's all good. Everybody's here for the same thing. They all know that you're filming. It's amazing how this sort of coaster enthusiast life has changed in the time that I've been involved. Back when I came into this place when I was a kid, there was not much it was kind of a little weird deal if you came to a park on your own. But now, it's not that uncommon. Alright, so it's the curse of coasters today. So Gemini's just closed. It's fine. I'm gonna wait this train out and see what happens. It has been up and down all day. It is worth it. This is a great ride. It's pretty fast. It's not running 2 trains, unfortunately, as part of the racing situation, but Who knows? I might get a train on my own, which would be subjected to over 100 miles per hour at 400 feet.